Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Bloomlordmon and the new upgrades it's going to be getting in BT-14 because this deck is actually getting like a ton of really crazy support in this set, including a promo that they didn't have in this time in the Japanese format that I think is going to be really interesting. So let's talk about it. Starting off with the eggs, I'm back up to 5 eggs because we've got some new cards that let us cycle our eggs quicker. So I'm playing one copy of Bosamon, which is when an effect suspends a Digimon on your turn, it gains plus 1k. This lets you beat over some like level 7s and stuff with Bloomlord easier, so it's just a nice effect to have. 4 copies of Kokomon, which is your turn once per turn. When an effect suspends one of your Digimon, draw a card. Just really strong card draw. We're going to be activating this like pretty much every turn. 4 copies of Palmon from BT-10 on play. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Add a plant, fairy, add a plant or veggie and a fairy. Put the rest on the bottom. Really strong. It gets a lot stronger now that we've actually got more fairies in the deck that we can search. It used to be you were just adding a plant and then maybe Bloomlordmon, but now there's 2 extra fairy targets in the deck. After that, we've got 2 copies of Lalamon from BT-13. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 plant, veggie, or fairy, and 1 Yoshino to your hand. And then the inherited effect is when this Digimon would be Digivolved if you have a green tamer, reduce the cost by 1. This is really strong. It'd be better if we were on Yoshino's, but we cut Yoshino from this list. But if you're on a more dedicated Rosemon package, you're going to want more of this so you can play Yoshino's. 2 copies of the new Palmon from BT-14. At the start of your main phase, one of your opponent's Digimon gains all turns when this Digimon becomes suspended, lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. And then it has the same inheritable as Lalamon, where it reduces Digivolve costs if you have a green tamer. This is interesting. The last time we got a Palmon that has like a start of your main phase effect, it didn't end up getting integrated because it was just like a little too niche. But this has a much more powerful application, so we'll have to see how it plays out. 2 copies of the BT-9 Pomumon that says during all turns, players can't play Digimon by effects. This might seem really risky because in Pomumon, you're trying to play Digimon by effects, but you have control over the ability to like drop it at the end of your turn or like just Digivolve over it. And there are a lot of decks like Commandramon and the Poop deck that are getting a lot of support that plays Digimon by effects coming soon. 1 copy of the EX3 Pomumon that says when an effect suspends this Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. This is really strong because when we're suspending our Digimon for effects, it gives us the ability to sort of Samadhi Santi our opponent's Digimon. But it is like the weakest of the rookie lineup, and so as a result, we're going to be trimming it down. Finally, for the new surprise tech, Ukomon. This is part of the promo deck movie tie-in stuff for the next adventure movie that came out recently. This has during your turn, once per turn, when a Digimon moves from your breeding area to the battle area, you may hatch an egg and gain a memory. Notably, this is an ancient fairy, which means it's searchable off of Palmon and Lalamon, and it's playable off of Sunflowmon and Agitarmon. So it's got the synergy because it's the deck doesn't care about color, it cares about types. But you can't Digivolve over it, so it's maybe a little risky to play, but I'm excited to see how this card plays out. 4 copies of BT-10 Sunflowmon. When Digivolving, you can suspend one of your green Digimon to play a 3k or lower plant, fairy, or veggie for free. This is our strongest level 4, bar none, and then it has the inheritable effect. When an effect suspends one of your Digimon, draw a card, same as our Kokomon. So again, we're just putting more bodies in play, we're drawing more cards so that they replace themselves. Really, really strong for building up our board for Bloomlord. The Sunflowmon from BT-13 has, during the main phase, you can suspend this Digimon to reduce the cost of any of your Digimon going into a fairy by 2. And then the inherited effect that says if this Digimon would Digivolve, you can use if you have a green tamer, reduce the cost by 1. This is just really good for climbing because green has had all of its free Digivolves limited, but this is about as close as we can get to bridging the gap again. And then 3 copies of the new Togemon from BT-14. During your turn, once per turn, if you would play a green tamer from your hand, you can suspend this Digimon to reduce the cost by 3. This is crazy because it lets us play the new Mimi for free, and it lets us play the old Mimi for 1. Or if you were playing like Rosemon, you could play Yoshino for 1, even though you can also play Yoshino for free in that deck. And then it's got the same Lalamon line inheritable of if you have a green tamer, reduce the Digivolve cost by 1. But this solves this deck's main problem, which is Bloomlord has not been able to play Mimi for free. You have usually just had to find a turn where you could take a break from playing the game to play a Mimi. And now you have the ability to like play Mimi without interrupting your tempo. Or in fact, actually adding to your tempo by suspending a Digimon. For level 5s, we're on 4 copies of Agitarmon. Once per turn, by suspending one of your green Digimon, you can play a 3k or lower plant, fairy, or veggie for free. And then inherited effect is when an effect suspends one of your Digimon once per turn, gain a memory. Really, really strong. The memory gain actually lets you go into level 6s probably way lower on memory than you should be able to. Easily the best level 5 in the deck. I would not recommend playing less than 4 of this. Up next is another new inclusion, 2 copies of Lilymon Ace. 4 cost to play, 8000 DP. It has the blast counter timing Digivolve. On player when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then you can return a suspended Digimon with 5k or less DP to the bottom of its owner's deck. Really strong removal option. Notably, this deck had to stop playing Grandel Soul pretty early in its lifespan, and this is pretty similar to that. It's like a one-shot Nidhoggmon, if you want to think about it like that. And it's a free Digivolve on our opponent's turn, which is also nice. After that, we've got 1 copy of Argomon, limited. It Digivolves for free by suspending one of your Digimon, and has the inheritable effect that you can play a level 3 green Digimon from your hand suspended for free when attacking. Now, notably, this is not a plant, veggie, or fairy, but all of the green cards that do this free Digivolving gimmick are limited, and so we're playing all of them to get as close to a playset as we can. 1 copy of Blossomon, similar to Argomon, it has Digisorption for 3, which means it's a free to Digivolve, and this one is a vegetation, so instead of having an inheritable effect, it is searchable. Finally, for level 6s, 4 copies of Bloomlordmon. When Digivolving, suspend one of your Digimon, then gain a memory for each suspended plant, veggie, or fairy. If you gain 2 or more this way, unsuspend this Digimon and it gets piercing. And when attacking, for every 2 suspended Digimon in play, this gets plus 2k and security attack plus 1. You're pretty much always swinging this for 14k security plus 1, but it's not uncommon to go in for 16k security plus 2. And it's a really, really strong aggressive engine. This deck has been good pretty much since Bloomlord came out. It's floating around like the tier 2 status, and this is, I think, the first time that it's going to hit like tier 1 again since like its release. Hydramon from EX3. When Digivolving, you may suspend any 1 Digimon. All turns once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, gain 1 memory for every other plant, fairy, and veggie you have in play that's suspended. And then at the end of your turn, once per turn, if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon with plant, veggie, or fairy in their traits, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck. So this guy's really strong to go into. It's a 5-cost Digivolve, which sucks, but it's a 13k. It's got a removal effect at the end of your turn, and it reduces your opponent's resources on their turn, because when they swing, they're going to be losing memory. This one, notably, is you gain memory, unlike the opponents, you lose memory, so this can be stopped by memory floodgates. And then for the level 7s, we're on 2 copies of Quartzmon. It Digivolves for 6 over a level 6 green Digimon. When Digivolving, suspend all other Digimon and Tamers, then gain 2 memory. For every 2 cards suspended like this, gain 1 memory. During all turns other than this Digimon, nothing can unsuspend. And when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then trash the top card of their stack for every 5 suspended Digimon and Tamers. Really, really strong. Locks your opponent out of the game. Closes out the game pretty quickly afterwards. I hate this card, and it's too good, we can't not play it. For options, we're on 1 copy of Hidden Potential Discovered. This is the option version of the Argomon and Blossomon. The next time one of your green Digimon would Digivolve, you may suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the cost by 5, which means you can go into something like a Hydramon cost-free. Notably, this is not searchable in any way. You are going to bottom deck this card a lot of the time, but it is still so strong that it's honestly ban-worthy, and it's surprising it's not banned. 4 copies of the new Agility Training Box Topper. On play, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, then add 1 green card among them to your hand, put the rest on the bottom. Place this in the battle area. Then the delay effect is one of your Digimon can Digivolve into a green Digimon in your hand. reduce the cost by 2 if you do so. This is really strong because it pays itself in full, unlike the green memory boosts, and it can grab tamers and options, unlike the memory boosts. So these are, if you ever get the opportunity to pick these up for cheap, do it. These are crazy and will probably get limited in the future. They're a little too good. For tamers, we're on 2 copies of BT-1 Mimi. Mimi is still broken more than 13 sets later. Start of your turn sets you to 3 memory. If you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon, you can suspend it to either hatch an egg or raise from the breeding area. Notably, you can pair this with Ukomon to bring back the old like BT5 era double Mimi combo of like suspend, raise an egg, this guy hatches an egg, suspend Mimi to raise that egg again, and you've just got like a whole extra body in rotation that you probably shouldn't be allowed to play that turn. And then 2 copies of the new Mimi from BT-14. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add a plant, veggie, or fairy to your hand, put the rest on the bottom, and during your turn, when a Digimon becomes suspended by an effect, suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. So just really, really strong. Play it for free off of Togemon. Gains a memory pretty much every turn because we're always suspending our Digimon. This deck is going to be, I think, a lot of fun going into the new format. Not only are the decks like Shine Greymon that were really good into it hit on the ban list, but also like players are kind of fatigued on a lot of the decks that are really good against it. Black War, for as much as I love it, I know can be kind of boring after it's been good since BT8. Shine Greymon, the same thing. It's like players kind of like don't like Shine anymore. Belphamon got a huge hit with Apoclamon, or with the bands that were designed to hit Apoclamon, like Scatter Mode and the Gabumon hits. And so it's just a meta shift that is really favoring Bloomlord, I think, in this upcoming set. So thanks for watching, and have fun playing the deck.